I've not used this before, so I'm just trying it out.
Hey man, it's been too long since we sat down and that just feels wrong. Allow me to give my head a shake, open my eyes and fix a mistake. Do you wanna come over? Just like the old times, we'll hit pause and then hit a rewind. You wanna come over? Just like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly. Hey buddy, no strangers here. These times I hold them dear. My door's open, so come on in. This was great, let's do it again. Do you wanna come over? Just like the old times, we'll hit pause and then hit rewind. Wanna come over? Just like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly. Do you wanna come over? Just like the old times, we'll hit pause and then hit rewind. You wanna come over? Just like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly.
I love that song. X God, give it to you. And then,
So-
uh,
When I watch that intro, two things always
Yeah.
stick out in my mind. How cool, of all those toys, which are all very, very cool, how cool were those like Matchbox cars with the keys in the back, and they launched them?
I never saw them,
You
but
never
they
had
look cool.
They were so
No,
cool.
well, I never had them. I don't even remember seeing them, but I do remember having the. I think they were Hot Wheels or Matchbox, either way, where they had like battle damage, like the He-Man flip battle damage, but it was like
Hot
car
Wheels,
damage.
crack 'em ups.
Yeah, they were cool. What about Ring Raiders?
Yeah, Ring Raiders were cool. They were. I remember how heavy they were. They were like the die-cast metal. Those planes.
Do you
Yeah,
remember the ring racers? They had these like rings, and there was like a platform on the ring, and then there was a car, and you wind like somehow
Yep.
wound it, and you just shot them up the finger.
I had a Dukes of Hazzard one, and I had a Knight Rider one.
Yeah, we had Duke,
Oh, that's cool.
generally in Roscoe's car, or Enos if you like Enos, or Cletus if you like
Right.
Cletus.
Very good. And the other thing I think though is that Sarge video at the end of it. What parent bought their kid 8 bats?
One that either had a lot of money or
Short
didn't
term.
care that their kids were buying more than short-term memory. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't think my parents would ever tell me that I couldn't buy the same toy more than once. But I do remember thinking that if I had to pick between another bat or another trooper of any kind, then that would mean I wouldn't get another opportunity for a character, different character.
Yeah. As a kid, I
So-
never army built anything. I always ever had one. Never doubled up.
Never.
Yeah, I used to just make characters. I used to make them into characters. Like Undertow, I know is a trooper, but that was just a character.
Yeah.
Right, he was supposed to be a Iron Grenadier diver, and you're supposed to have many of them. But that was just a character. If I had Hydra Viper, Gaz, I would have made that a character and glued that helmet on.
That's right.
All right.
I think the
How are you,
only-
Gaz?
Yeah,
Thumb kiss to you.
Yeah, big thanks for Yaz for joining us in the biz today.
Big thing.
Did you know? I reckon that Gaz has been. We can actually quantify this. We can measure this. I reckon Gaz has been making people happy since 1996 at least.
At least
What?
in the,
Yeah, what
in
are we talking about?
the toy world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, right.
Now's time for the prop, Gaz. So bring out the prop. Otherwise, I feel weird.
Well, yeah. Look, ooh, I was a Toys R Us employee.
What a delight! What a delight! So that's our second toy employee that we've had on the show, Adam.
Yeah. We only have guests on this show that sold Toy Biz action figures.
Right.
That's it.
Well, that
And-
makes sense.
Actually, I got to Joe Fest after our last episode of None of Your Toy Biz, and we'll be talking about the first wave of X Force and some of my favorite characters there. And then I get to Joe Fest, and then Joe Ricondo says, "Oh, here's a box that Gaz gave me for you."
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, what's this about?" And then there were all kind of treats, all kinds of treasures. I got some Voltron stuff, and I got some Godzilla stuff, which is a Gaz trademark.
Nice.
I got a bag of Joe parts that I like in the hotel that night. We're like putting Joes together. Got a sweet Storm Shadow that I built out of there, and Ricondo, all kinds of cool stuff. Got some X-Men Toy Biz stuff, but I got in there a mint on card, both Toy Biz Daredevil from the Superheroes line and Shatterstar from the X-Force. It was my favorite X-Force member. So like now I look at the carded wall and I see Shatterstar, and it reminds me of my man Gaz every time.
Ah, that's beauty. Speaking of beauty, we haven't done Is This Any of Your Toy Biz in so long. This almost feels like a new season. We're in season 2. Season 2 of Is This Any of Your Toy Biz. We had a little bit of a hiatus, but we're back, and people are back with us. So we'll say hi to the chat real quick, and then maybe I'll do the Clubhouse roll call. We've got Dale. Hello, everybody. Hello to you, sir. Stephen Hall saying, hello, everyone. Good to see you. And the Retro Tinker saying, g'day, everyone. So that's good. Hope you're feeling better, Nate. The encyclopedia of all things nerd... I almost said nerdgasm. Of all things nerd
Related.
Nerd related. Pericles, Dragon Ball Z. Good morning to Phil. Is sticking his nose in. Good to see you.
Attaboy, Phil.
Morning, Nodsy. Good to see you, bud. The 29th Woodman is here, but he's number 1 in our hearts. How are you, bud?
There. Number 1 right there.
And I think that's everybody. I'll just do the Clubhouse roll call real quick. You've got someone related, Gaz, that also thinks that Cable is the number 1.
He's the only one.
I think we might see some Cable today. We're going to see. All right, let's have a look at the Clubhouse roll call. As I wake up, I was up at 3 a.m. doing the Salacious Rum channel. It was great stuff over there. It got a bit blue. Anyway, Clubhouse roll call. We have Michael Mercy, Grindhead Jim, Wilhelm Toy and Hobby, who's been on this show, Casey Wheeler, Handsome Man, Ratface 44 Reviews, David, Samuel Blaine, our mate Nate, the Retro Tinker, hope you feel better, buddy, Cindy K, hope you're feeling better too, Sunny's Sundries, Jonathan Sorensen, Happy Accident, Joshua Allen, hey, that's Adam, we'll go figure, our pal Phil, Treasures for Trigger, Hans Chow kicking that door in, but putting it right back up again. Brendan Haley, my Aussie buddy. Jason Clark, and Space Commander. And then we got our members. Gaz, that's you. Beta Ray Bob, David, Samuel Blaine, Spacey, double dipping over there. Jason Stillwell, Ryan Sweeney. Keep on collecting. I love those cock boys. Kiwi, G.I. Joe Customs and Collections. Thank you. Now, if you want to be part of the Clubhouse roll call and join us on games nights, you can by being a channel member. Or a Patreon supporter, and we had fun jumping back into those games nights again. That was good stuff.
I haven't had the cheek pain from laughing in a long time.
You pointed at these ones because you knew if you didn't specify, we were going to say something. Yeah.
And man, after that games night, I was feeling it. I was feeling the pain from the laughing.
Yeah, it was fun, and I got a win in. Because Space Commander wasn't there. He gave me a go.
The best moment of the night was you trying to throw it. You're like, oh, that's U.S. Agent. And I was like, it is U.S. Agent.
I was just... Sometimes I throw out...
I was thinking that you had old Spacey on speed dial.
Spacey on it? Nah.
He's at a wedding being like, I think that's the U.S. Agent packaging, actually. And, so I would guess that. I kind of did.
That sounds exactly like him.
UK and Australian accent there. I went places.
He's never done that before.
If I want to do an Australian accent, how I get into it is I talk like Michael Caine from
Jaws.
Jaws.
And that gets me,
from Jaws.
Goes the size of a tangerine, and then that gets me to my Australian accent.
Tangerine.
Yeah.
That's how he say it.
Time in Burma.
It's tangerine.
Yeah, but Michael Caine says it was the size of a tangerine. And that gets me into my Aussie up here accent.
Medium banana.
Medium.
Pericles, it's all good, mate. You'll either catch the next one or watch the replay.
Yeah, it's all good fun. Now it's interesting you say, Zazel, that this feels like
Yeah.
season 2 of None of Your Toy Biz, because in this episode of in this the waves of toys we're looking at today, we're seeing a bit of winds of change come in, and so both in our
Sorry about
show
that.
format, that's fine, both in our show format and in what Toy Biz was doing at the time. So we're actually looking at 2 lines this week because the waves get smaller now. When there used to be 10 to 12 figures in a wave, that's being reduced now. So they're putting out smaller waves because they're putting out multiple lines at the same time. And we're starting to see them really tap into that deep character selection. So you get, opposed to like, you look at the first 2 waves of the X-Men, it was all like just bangers, like just heavy hitters all the way across. Now we're seeing some deep cuts where in each wave we're going to get like 1 or 2 mainstream characters and then some kind of like, not bad figures, but like B-ring characters. Almost like we're seeing now with the Marvel Legends that come out. Where you'll get
that's true.
figures with like 2 A-listers and then some deep cut guys that can, guys either scoop them up or they warm pegs depending on who they are. But we see the beginning here.
I remember feeling. I think the first time I felt like I could skip a figure was when the second Magneto came out. But I remember feeling like when the later waves showed up, I was like, well, I don't really need this one. Like, unless it was an upgrade. But I reckon, and we'll get this as we go on, is that some of them weren't upgrades at all. They were like, what is going on here?
Yeah, there's one specific figure in here that we're going to see today. You guys may know who it is without me telling you yet. That I was like, he's actually cooler than he should be. As a toy, this figure's a bit janky, but just the aesthetic worked for me. But it's a weird choice. It's the first weird choice I've seen in the X-Men line.
All right, should I throw up? Should I bring up this?
Bring it up, and we'll do our little history here to start.
Don't forget to hit that like button. Speaking of things that I like, here's Flying Grayson. So this is where the legends are. Yep, right here and in the chat.
What a beaut. What a beaut.
What a great guy. Just be a really great guy.
As we're diving through Toy Biz, we give a little bit of history. That Toy Biz got its start as Sharon Toys in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And they had a division called Toy Biz, which was for international sales. So if you bought a toy in Canada, it was a Sharon toy. If you bought the same toy anywhere else in the world, it was Toy Biz. For example, if you bought Bob the Goon in Canada, it said Sharon Toys. If you bought it in anywhere else in America, or anywhere else in the world, I should say, it was a Toy Biz. And even including this wave, it's still being branded that way. So we're at X-Men Wave 4 and X-Force Wave 2, and we're still getting the Sharon Toys brand and the ones sold in Canada. So I have a couple of these ones in my own collection that are Sharon Toys, and it always makes me feel a little bit of Canadian pride. But also, it's kind of weird.
That's cool. It is a little, yeah. I had no idea until you brought these up that was even its origin. It's crazy to look back at these now, thinking how far we've come in our journey through Toy Biz.
So next episode, we're going to look at some stuff where like this is currently on the shelf but feels a bit outdated. Where it's going to be a bit of a head scratcher on our next episode.
Right.
But we started with DC with the Batman line, and then we jumped to the DC superheroes line. They had a couple waves of those. Then we moved right into the Marvel superheroes line. X-Men came next, and we got more DC or more Marvel. We got the Talkers, more X-Men, X-Force. And at this point in time, and I think it's the first time in history, I think, that you could walk into a toy store and one company had 3 separate individual toy lines that were all compatible and in the same universe.
That is cool.
And I don't think we've had it maybe since then. I don't think we've had different branded, maybe the Marvel Legends stuff with the way they brand stuff, but this was a Marvel superheroes line, an X-Men line, and the X-Men.
I disagree with the Marvel Legends. I think when Marvel Legends and the Spider-Man line were coming out, they felt like compatible toy lines similar to this. But now, even with different boxes or different ways that they present the Marvel Legends, they all still kind of seem like they're just Marvel Legends.
Right. Right. So this is a cool time to be a Marvel fan and an action figure fan and a toy fan. This was an exciting time. You walk in and there's just all these figures like we've never seen before, just so deep. So we're going to start. We're going to dive into X-Men Wave 4. So we had the first wave of X-Men, which was that classic comic book look, and then we had Wave 2 came out. And they had a lot of gold and yellow suits. That was kind of like based on that Jim Lee art and kind of the cartoon. And then Wave 3 was a bunch of repaints and some big improvements there, and then some kind of lateral moves. But now we're going to see a bit of a change. Like I said, we're going to see some heavy hitters, and then some questions. Some questions are going to be answered or asked. So moving into X-Men Wave 3, our first one is the second release of Apocalypse, and now
that's how you do it.
That's how you do it. We were very, very kind to that first wave of X-Men figures, saying it was just about a perfect wave of toys. Zazel was on record really hating the Apocalypse figure.
Oh, no. That's not true.
You were pretty rough on it. And right, well, it was a weird gimmick, and it was a weird-looking toy. This is a perfect, in my mind, Apocalypse figure.
I think the thing about this Apocalypse, when you compare it to the second release of Magneto, is that Magneto's gimmick didn't make sense, and it didn't improve upon the original one, because the original one had soft goods capes, which is a bygone era by this point, but it fit in with what they were doing at the time. The Magneto also, while it didn't have a removable helmet, and they've already proven they can do that, so it was a back step for me. This feels like a step up, because the detachable arms with the weapon change, that's perfectly Apocalypse. Like, he would morph his limbs into weapons. And for him, I think the only thing that it loses, that I think the first one did really well, was having those pipes, the look of those pipes that Apocalypse was known to have. But this guy looks like a perfectly menacing Apocalypse.
Yeah. But they couldn't have those pipes because they're taking the arms off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it would go a little janky. And this is something that we kind of started seeing a little bit with the last wave of X-Force, but really comes along here. That Apocalypse is very cool. Like you said, the gimmick is in these weapons, right? So you could essentially just leave his regular arms on, and you had a regular action figure with no buttons and no spring load. It was just an action figure. And I think in reality, that's all we really wanted as kids. Just give me an action figure. The accessories can be the gimmick. And again, with Apocalypse, you can put these on, take these off, but at the end of the day, you have a dynamite action figure.
Yeah, that looks great.
Gaz, what are your thoughts on this guy, buddy?
He does look menacing.
Yeah.
I like the head sculpt. This is a much better offering than the last one.
Yeah. And I think, like, I didn't hate the first one, but I remember when this one came out being like, ooh, this is an upgrade. Like, this is something this is one I really wanted as a figure. And this wave especially, we see some big bulky figures. And and so I love the purple card. Love the purple card. This guy makes sense as being a big and bulky figure, right? Like this. I later on we'll get into in a few weeks. Bulky figures kind of took over Toy Biz, and Wimmy was not the best step, but this bulky figure absolutely made sense. So I
know we haven't gotten there yet, but I do know that there's at least one more Apocalypse that I had in my collection that I thought was even better than this one.
Okay, I'm excited to be there now. Yeah, Pericles is talking about the design here, being Bart Sears' design. The X-Men art at the time was so good, and I think anybody wanted to work on the book because it was so hot. And so Toy Biz, I think, did a really great job, and we're going to see that later on. even more so, really incorporating artist look and style into these figures.
Oh yeah. Hey, G-Force Racing 20, turning that corner, coming in at number 1. Thanks for joining us, buddy. He was up at my hour as well on the Silicious Rum channel. Talking modern, big fan of the latest Apocalypse Legend. Doesn't that look similar in card to this? I believe it's like this classic card now.
Yeah.
And Joe Fan 84, how are you, my friend? Good to see you.
You know what's odd is I don't remember when I was reading the comic book that he had an A on his stomach. I don't remember that.
Do you reckon he was buying his outfits at the same place that Avalanche was?
Yeah, most likely.
Hey,
Yo,
Aussie.
I'll have the same thing that Avalanche is taking, but I'll just have it in blue, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Avalanche is
Speaking of having it in blue, Frostbite G.I. Joe Repro with the $2. Thanks, buddy. Good morning, legends. He says good morning, gents, but I'm reading it as legends. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Thank you. And here's Lax Sivrak.
Is his left arm a little bent?
Yeah, a little bent for punching.
Yeah, because it's shorter than the right arm.
Yeah.
Don't forget to hit that like button.
So, but I'd say to me, this Apocalypse is. You said there's a better one coming, but for
Yep. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
I know what one you're talking about. Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
But I'm going chronologically. That this one.
You
to
wait,
me,
Gaz.
This one to me, especially when it came out, I was like, this is a 10 out of 10 figure. And looking back, I'm like, this to me is like a perfect Toy Biz X-Men figure.
Little Gaz took this one off the shelf and said, "Yeah."
Love that. So then moving on from Apocalypse, we get to this cowboy. Now this I think this is the star of the line. So when I was talking about you had some heavy hitters, some A-list characters. Bishop.
Oh, hang on.
Yep.
What are we ranking old Apocalypse?
So I'm giving him a 10.
Same.
Great figure, great gimmick.
Yeah. Would you say A+?
I'd say a Apocalypse Plus.
Yeah, I give it a 10 too. That is a 10 out of 10. Great update. Nothing bad about it.
Yeah. And now moving on, like I said, to this cowboy here. This is one of those things that with this line, same thing as Gambit. You saw Bishop in the cartoons and the comics, but he was like such a tertiary character for a while. You never expected to see a figure of him, right? Like
not this early, yeah.
But at this point in time, our action figure lines were like 2-3 waves of like main guys, and then they were gone, and we didn't see anybody that went deep into like the roster. Like G.I. Joe's, they were creating new figures, but this was a pre-existing. Hey, Wilhelm's here, our other Toy Biz alum. He's not even here.
How are you, buddy? Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah. So when Bishop came out, he was a must-get for me. I was like, oh, man, like this is incredible. And I think this was the only Bishop figure that this line had. Am I correct?
Well, when you nail it, you nail it. I think he came back in a 2-pack, maybe?
Yeah, so this figure was in the 2-pack and in the Hall of Fame, but I don't think they made a new figure sculpt.
It's perfect, that's why.
Really, really cool character in the car. I remember seeing him. I thought the outfit was great. The fact that he's rocking a mullet, it's just outstanding. Tattoo on his face and the red scarf.
Yeah.
Great looking character. Great looking figure.
Yep. And
great outfit.
His guns were great too. So he had this big. He was another guy like Cable, who was like mostly a gun guy. But he had this one here. But this the smaller one there in his right hand, it like folded up, like it was his trademark gun from his back that kind of folded.
Yeah.
And the scarf sold him.
Yeah,
that is cool.
That scarf.
Yeah. Now the one thing here, I think that they could have, to go back to what we were saying about Apocalypse, they could have just had the guns be the gimmick, but they on his back here he had this button where you pulled his one arm down and it clicked into place. You push the button and it would fire up to like as a quick draw situation. I respect him for putting the gimmick in there. I don't think we needed that gimmick. I think we were quite capable of making him do quick draw Bishop ourselves, right?
So
Right.
the button's blue, right? So that's
Yeah.
a plus. You can barely see it. It's not an overly large button for it. Who was the guy that said? Who's the guy that said? What you talking about, Willis?
Arnold?
Gary Coleman.
Gary
Gary
Coleman.
Coleman. Yeah.
Have you seen the picture of Gary Coleman wearing this exact outfit?
Yeah.
No.
How great is that?
It's so
You haven't
good.
seen it? I'll show you.
That glorious hair like that. I'm thinking Eddie Murphy from a Vampire in Brooklyn, or is that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
I'm gonna look it up. Gary
Bishop's
Coleman.
a great
Bishop.
character, man. Wish they had done like this. His two buddies that came with him, and they did his sister though, right?
Yeah.
Did a fear of his sister. Yeah,
Shard.
Shard. I just thought it was a cool character. Plus, then he absorbs energy and it shoots it back.
What's going on here? Sorry.
Yeah, the absorbing energy and shooting it back is a cool, and like having it like Gary Coleman.
Oh wait, somebody doctored that because he's wearing like yeah. He's wearing a train engineer outfit, and they just remove one
It
of
is
the suspenders.
definitely the inspiration.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
There's Gary Coleman growing up.
That's incredible.
It's the same.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love this figure too.
You know, one of the things I liked about his costume design was the X symbol on his belt, and if you look, and it's got a shield in it. It's like something to do with like the Xavier security force or something like that.
Right.
It's just really
cool. And his friends that come back in time with him, they don't last very long.
No, they never do.
No, they don't. It's
one second, I was going to tend to my dog. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
It's probably my dog, Adam. What was that, Gaz?
I forget the guy's name. It's like Fitzgerald or Fitzroy or something like that. Wasted him. Like that.
Yeah, I think it was Fitzroy.
Fitzroy,
but great comic, great cover, great comic. It felt a little bit like Terminator, where in the original Terminator, I believe 2 people came back to the past.
Yeah, one guy died instantly.
Yeah, he blended into the steel staircase.
Yeah, the fire escape.
Yeah.
What a cool character.
No, so to me, this at risk of sounding like a broken record, 10 out of 10. Like this figure, and at this point in time, too, when this came out, anybody in a blue and gold X-Men outfit, I'm like, yep, buying them. I want to keep that team going. Bishop was a super cool character. We weren't expecting to get a figure, especially not one this good. So to me, I consider this the Bishop wave. He is the must-have figure of the wave.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
He gets an 11 out of 10.
There's only one toy that hasn't come up yet, which I put above this one, but I give this one a solid 10 out of 10.
Yeah. And I hope your toy is the same toy I'm thinking of, because there's some that's pretty special.
All right, we'll see. We'll see.
But moving on from Bishop again, so far, 4th wave in, we get 2 10 out of 10s.
With appropriate weapons and appropriate gimmicks.
Exactly. They're really honing in. Next up, we have Omega Red.
Omega Red.
So this is a weird but cool figure, but a weird figure. So he looks the part. He looks absolutely the part. Just like his comic book outfit. I think his comic book outfit's a little bit boring, but that's not the figure's fault.
Right.
I beg to differ. I love the look. It's just plain Jane. It's cool.
Yeah, but if you would have had a hammer and sickle on
the chest,
on the chest or something,
no, because he's like he's supposed to be the Russian version of Wolverine. Right? He's off their Weapon X project, even though Weapon X was a Canadian project, but you know what I mean? So yeah, it fits, and just plain because it's almost like the basic brown and gold Browning. Is it gold or tan? Wolverine suit. It's
Yeah,
just plain.
yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
plain.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
I can get behind that. Again, no problems with the figure at all. Now he's got 2 tentacles, these lashing tentacles. He's got, but each arm is a different gimmick. So the left arm,
Right.
it slides down like a lightsaber, and in the right
Right.
arm, it's like attached to his hand and swings around. So
Coming under his arm is a bit weird.
yeah. So I would have liked it if they would have had the same gimmick on both hands, like just pick a gimmick and stick with it.
I think they should have just did the attached to the hand, like the right one.
Yeah.
The only that's throwing me off is that it's coming right, like it's supposed to come out of like here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, but I think they were trying some things and doing, and that's fine. The other thing about this figure that people forget is his ponytail is articulated. So his hair, his ponytail like sticks in, and it very easily falls out. So I actually have 3 of these figures, and to get one that had a ponytail, I had to buy one that was carded and open it. Now the card was very damaged; it was water damaged. It wasn't like I was doing that, but to get one with the ponytail, I had to buy a carded one and open it up because it's like everybody lost the ponytail from it, and I don't think it was necessary. Like, I don't think that was it was needed to be articulated. So that was a bit of a head scratcher for me.
I like the look of this action figure, but that gimmick is a little bit of a head scratcher of the one coming under the arm, because the arm is already straight, right? There's no reason why it couldn't just go through the arm. I don't know. I'm no toy designer. I don't know, the ins and outs of how to make this work. But if you've already got the perfect version of it on one arm, just duplicate it for 2. But this guy was such a big deal at the time in the comics. You don't really see a lot of him now. I think old school fans look at it and go, "Yes, Omega Red," because we remember how he was built up. He was one of the only. I think. Would you consider him a Omega level or no?
I don't think he's an Omega level, but he's like the same level as like Wolverine. I mean, he basically almost wiped out one of the teams, right? Right on the.
Well, that's what I mean. Like if one character can almost wipe out the entire team, does that not automatically make them Omega level?
Well, I mean, he could be because
he's Omega Red.
I believe his correct me if I'm wrong, Dragon Ball. If you want, correct me if I'm wrong. But his ability was almost to drain people's the life out of you, right? Carbonite is carbonite. The tentacles are made out of some, I forget what they call it. I want to say carbonite, but it's not carbonite. I mean, it's pretty badass. It's a pretty good character. I wouldn't say he's Omega level, even though his name is Omega Red, but shit, in my book he is.
I in my opinion, he is too. So I would say Wolverine's nemesis is, I would take Juggernaut off that list and put Cyber there.
Yeah. Cyber. Yeah.
And again,
he was a big.
Omega Red might not be an Omega level mutant, but his enhancements make him get there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Was he a mutant before they gave him the tendrils?
Yeah, because I believe so.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's just.
I'll have to go back and read up on it.
But the only thing I would have changed about him was that I wouldn't have made him so bulky. I would have made him like a little smaller.
Yeah. So
but then again, he looks pretty nemesis and huge. So
yeah.
Whatever.
But this is one I think you're right, where I'm like the bulkiness isn't super necessary. So again, great looking figure, a great character to have, fun toy. But to me, he loses a point for having 2 different versions of the tendrils, and he loses a point for the hair articulation and the bulkiness. So I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10, which is still a high points. It's still a great figure, but not compared to Apocalypse and Bishop.
Zazel, what are you going to do?
First thing I'll do is I'll shout out the phenomenal AC, and with a picture there of Wolverine as his icon, you can almost expect that he would be able to identify exactly what Wolverine's nemesis would have, and it's carbonadium. So good pull, and thanks for joining us. I would give him an 8 too. For not necessarily for the hair piece missing. I didn't really own this figure, so Maybe Phil's got the same issue where it's just it doesn't stick in enough. Um, but they're definitely the points off for the underarm gimmick. And at this point, I think that there's no real reason to have that level of misfire, considering how they've been able to perfect it previously. Perfect it previously. Anyway, so yeah, an 8. Gaz, what do you think? Same.
Well, I'm gonna give him two deductions. One is that cheesy looking whip coming out of his left arm. Two,
Yep.
not for the hair, but for the fact that he can't bend his arms like the other two previous.
Right.
I think, and there's no reason why the right arm couldn't be articulated. But I don't know why the left one couldn't be. So if they both on one arm, it would have been great. But anyway, I give it I want to say 9, but I'm going to give it an 8.5 because it's Omega Red.
Yeah.
Maybe a more menacing look on his face.
I love that we feel bad giving this guy an 80% mark.
I'm trying to think of the actor.
Yeah,
He looks like the
8's
actor.
pretty good.
Oh, hold on. Oh, using Bullet. Why
Yeah, he looks like he should be. It looks like he should be menacing. This looks like he's still frozen. They haven't thawed him out yet.
Where is this actor? Where is he? Who's the gunman? Who's the gunman? Come on. You're making me look bad here, phone.
Nothing can make you look bad, Gaz.
Nah, Gaz, you're a beauty.
Oh wait, no, he wasn't in this movie. Sorry. He was in the 7-Ups. You guys ever seen the 7-Ups? Roy Scheidner?
I don't think so. No.
Such a great movie.
I'm gonna watch that tonight after we talk about Roswell.
Oh yeah.
While drinking some 7-Up.
Ooh. Actually, the most Canadian thing in the world, my wife just brought me a poutine for dinner, so I'm going to be snacking as we talk.
So do you know the actor Richard Lynch? He's been in a lot of 80s stuff. Are you familiar with him? This guy right here. Tell me he does not. That figure does not look like this dude.
He does.
Oh yeah.
Right. Look at that.
He looks a little bit like Bret Hart too.
Well,
yeah. Okay.
No, then he doesn't.
No.
No,
Right.
take that away.
So moving on, we come to this guy, who I think
strong guy
is my favorite of the line. He's my Bishop is great. The fact that we got Strong Guy, the fact that Strong Guy exists as a character, the fact that he looks this like comic accurate, perfect, and he's this big bulky figure. You'd never get a Strong Guy now as a regular part of the line. He would be like a deluxe figure. He'd be $80 as a Marvel Legend now. But you get this guy for the same price. He is perfect, and he's an X Factor character. How cool is that?
He's such a
character. Oh, not to me. So I think I was so other than Cyclops in his X Factor outfit, I think this is the first X Factor second wave of second team, and I preferred X Factor for a while over the regular X-Men comic. The dynamic between Guido and the Multiple Man was just hilarious. I remember a scene where Quicksilver, who was on the team, reluctantly, it seemed, was learning how to play the piano, and it took him just moments to figure it out. They had the dynamic of Polaris, Havoc, and Wolfsbane. They had like a bit of a love triangle thing happening. And that wasn't even Wolfbane's fault. She didn't really have a real love for Havoc, but it was implanted in her to do so, and she couldn't fight against it. And then the death of the Multiple Man, he did come back, but how that dynamic shifted the team when they lost Multiple Man. Forge being on the team. It was so well written. Peter David wrote it. Some of the art it could be sometimes a little bit like the artistic style could be a little bit, a little bit off for me. But it did get for me. It got a lot better. Just a great character. This is my number one character. In fact, when I had no more Toy Biz left in my collection except one, it was this one. And I still have it in my collection.
Nice. I love that. My carded strong guy is one of the Sharon ones, the Canadian branded Sharon ones, which I'm pretty pumped about. But
Yeah. Oh,
I wouldn't change a thing. He's got a
No.
spring-loaded punch that makes total sense for this guy. But
mhm.
there's no buttons or anything on him. There's a thumb groove on his back where you can like swing him around, punch and stuff, but that doesn't hinder him at all. He's just such a big, bulky, perfect figure.
It's perfectly sculpted and it shows off his deformity from his mutant ability. The perfect outfit for him. He's got the strong guy card that comes with it. The card art looks great, if only a little bit covered up by his gigantic frame. And like you said, this is a regular retail figure for a regular retail cost. He's got open holes in his hands to hold something. He doesn't need to. He doesn't come with anything, and that's not anything you're missing either. He didn't have a weapon. He doesn't need a weapon.
But
He is the weapon.
We talked about that earlier, that all the weapon hands across the whole line are the same hole diameter, so you can just swap and put weapons in anybody's hands.
Yep.
It's perfect. Perfect. Gaz, what are your thoughts on the strong guy?
I agree with Zazel on a lot of points except for one. I think that the proportions are off. I think his legs need to be smaller. He should be look like this.
Sure.
Right. That's
God damn, he looks good.
He does, right? Well, that's what I'm saying, because look at all the strength is in the upper body.
Yes.
Right? It's just great.
We also needed to stand as a figure, right?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
You know what? Maybe I am giving him a pass because I love the character and the toy so much. But if this wasn't one of my favorite characters, I might have instantly just said, you know what, his legs need to be a bit smaller. Because looking at that picture, either his legs need to be a bit smaller or his frame needs to be a bit bigger.
Yeah, the upper portion needs to be bigger. That's my real thought. But other than that, it's a great looking figure. That head sculpt is cool. That little patch of fuzz, little patch of hair. Yeah. It's a Charlie Brown turned into a mutant. There he is.
Oh,
and that's great. And I like in the comic how he pretty much gave himself his own name, Strong Guy.
Strong Guy.
I'm a strong guy. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, no. And like I say, X-Force was this like almost reluctant group of misfits that became superheroes, and I love that dynamic.
Yeah.
Well, they work for they work for the government, didn't they? Valerie, get her name. Cooper, yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. And I like the fact. Another thing was that they didn't really, wear the classic spandex outfit. They all had like jackets, and like you can see like he's wearing a jacket.
Yeah. That trench coat of Multiple Man, I would say, looked way cooler than Gambit.
The Havoc look for me is great. The jacket,
way cooler than Cyclops.
Yeah. Well, Cyclops
and Sabretooth was on the team at one point as well.
Man,
and Mystique actually.
Character.
Yeah. But we can all agree, getting a figure
11 out of 10.
11 out of 10. But getting a figure this big as a regular figure is crazy value.
Yeah.
If you got one in the toy line, you're like, this is a great surprise. But to get two in the same toy line,
This guy, that little dude goes into his back. That's the gimmick.
The tusklet.
Yeah, it goes into his back. It's freaking cool. I had this dude.
Yeah,
that's a beefy character. Yeah,
was amazing. He was this big, imposing. I loved big, imposing baddies. The Kenner superpowers.
Have they got the same legs?
They don't.
I think so. They look.
These guys are more bent, and he's got these ribbings around his feet. This guy, These guys are straight.
Okay.
But the superpowers from Kenner, they had that big dark side villain that I feel like they could gang up on him and fight. So having a fight. So having a tusk, don't even try.
Such a great looking character.
Here you go, Gaz. Fun fact, in Astonishing X-Men number 9, Charlie Brown was one of the mutants trapped in the Danger Room. So, Charlie Brown actually is a mutant.
How about that?
Good call.
Wow, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Now,
That's a great bit of trivia.
My negative for this figure is that his arms and legs don't bend. There would be a perfect Toy Biz figure if that were the case.
But I think that they didn't move because there was so much engineering went into his gimmick of this guy in his back.
Yeah.
So there was a trap door and like a lever for a little elevator in the back of him, so you could hide him in there. You could launch him out at people.
Yeah.
And I found a Tusk loose in a bin at the ROM store, and opened up the back, and the Tusklet was still in there. I picked him up for like $2.
That's great. That is awesome.
And that little gimmick still works. It's so cool.
Hello, Vader's girl.
Was he Brotherhood?
Hey.
Was he a Brotherhood figure, or was he like with Apocalypse?
No, neither. He was.
Was he with Strife? Was he Strife baddies?
Was he? I thought he was.
I thought he was a Savage Line guy.
No.
No.
I think he's an Amazon.
For some reason, I thought he was with Lalandra's crew. I could be wrong though, but I thought he would fight the Space Jammers and stuff like that.
One of those dudes.
With Guardian. Oh, now I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not sure now. Thanks for tuning in, Lack. Appreciate it, buddy.
So, and this goes into
Ronnie is here. How are you, Ronnie?
He was employed by Apocalypse to join the.
Oh, he was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There we are. Riders of the Storm served Apocalypse. Perfect.
So this goes into as well. I was aware of Tusk in the show and in the comic, but the storyline of my toys took precedent. Where like he was a major big bad in my figure world, right? And I think that we don't give enough credit to that. Like we created our own stories with these figures, and they took on like lives of their own, right?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I'm thinking of the Star Jammers because I used to have him fight up against the Chod guy.
Yeah, such a cool looking dude. I mean, you can throw this guy into like Motu.
Oh yeah, he's a brilliant design.
Yeah, it's a great toy. Great toy.
Such a unique toy to play with.
And it's 2 for the price of 1. It was an Inhuman.
You could go in and get 2 regular priced figures, and you walk out with Strong Guy and Tusk.
Imagine that for the price of regular bloody toys.
Yeah.
Inhuman that Apocalypse co-opted. There we are. Tusk was in the village controlled by the rough psychic, and he does look a bit like a Spawn villain. You're not wrong.
He also, now that you said the Inhumans, he kind of looks like he'd be part of that crazy group of Inhumans.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Moving on, this is where it gets a little weird.
Well,
10 out of 10.
I'm giving this guy a 9 out of 10, only because he doesn't have bendable joints on his arms.
Fair enough.
At least the arms.
I'll agree with Gaz. 9 out of 10. Could have given me some articulation.
Besides, that little guy's making sandcastles on his back. Right?
If he didn't have, here's the thing, right? If he didn't have the removable little buddy with him, the mutant surprise. I've had a few mutant surprises. Now, if that was just sculpted on, right, which they could have done, just had him sculpted on the back, then I would have been like, maybe a 9 or an 8 out of 10. But the fact that they have that appropriate gimmick with the bonus toy, that's a 10 out of 10 figure. And at this stage of my collecting, I wasn't too hung up on whether or not articulation was overly, arms and legs were great if you could bend them, but big boys like this, I feel it. Like I'm a big boy. My joints don't want to move either.
I'm gonna have to agree with Zazel, and I'm gonna take back my 9 and give him a 10 because he comes with the little dude.
Yeah,
Thanks for the info, Grayson.
Yeah, so Grease after X-Men '97 came out, my son has deep dove into the old X-Men show from like the '90s era of X-Men, and he is loving the ride.
Nice.
I remember reading an X-Men comic where the Blackbird had crashed. Storm, Professor X, and Cyclops are trapped in the Arctic somewhere snow-covered anyway, and Cyclops' ruby visor has been smashed, and he's just wearing one little piece of it that's tied with rag, and that's all he's got to go by. It's pretty cool.
I love
Pretty
that.
cool.
Okay. This is the next figure here. Get
Go.
ready.
All
Let's
right.
go.
This Wolverine.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Now, I think they had a deal. Where they had to have a Wolverine in every wave.
Yeah.
Roll.
But boy, oh boy, this is something.
Mm.
What is
If you were Wolverine,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you'd never need?
Guns.
A knife.
Probably a
A
knife.
laser.
Probably a
Laser
knife.
on his shoulder.
Well, that's not a laser. That's a mask that flips over. It's like a.
Oh, okay.
knife
All
mask.
right.
But you probably wouldn't need a knife.
No.
This Wolverine comes with 8 knives.
But in
All the
comic,
knives.
He did carry a katana sometimes.
Now, we
Yeah.
gave him a pass for that sword when his first figure came out. We gave him a pass for that.
That's because it was more of a fighting style of the samurai.
Yeah.
It wasn't like have 8 weird knives.
So, actually, this might have been the version that was hanging out with Captain America before he had his metal claws, if I recall correctly.
You got these metal claws right here.
He's got metal claws.
Yeah. But I realized that, but in the comic books, I do remember, and in the cartoon, I do remember him wearing this outfit or something similar to this, where he didn't have his retractable blades yet, and so he was using
department. His what was it? Department K stuff, like back when he was a commando, right before in the 60s when he got his gear.
So if he didn't have the claws, then I think this would be great.
But
I think
they all stuck into his like limbs like this, and so kitted up. What in the world? Poor Logan.
Now he looks way better with the goggles on. Poor Logan, says Heather. I agree. Also, what were you eating? G-Force wants to know.
I'm eating a Canadian delicacy called poutine. It's French fries, fresh cheese curds, and gravy, and it's as good as it sounds. And
I've tried it.
G-Force, I will make sure we bring all the ingredients. I'll bring to Joe Fest next year. I will bring some fresh Canadian curds so we can make our own poutine in Augusta.
Poutine night at the bar.
That's right.
And everybody here right now is going to be there.
Those guys came all the way to Joe Fest to buy Toy Biz X-Men figures?
No, we're here for the poutine.
I think that maybe instead of being gold, if it was yellow, I think it would look a little better.
Yeah, or if it was all black, like if it was just a stealth outfit.
Yeah.
Like if this figure was all black and came with no knives, I'm in. I'm like a stealth mission.
Nah.
I'm in.
If you lose the knives, you got all these weird things all over his body. It's gonna
you get rid of those. Like
I know that.
Yeah.
Then you have to cut those off and then cleverly cut.
I like the gold trim. I would leave that. The black and gold looks good in my opinion. The mask on him looks way better than without, but at least it's removable. Which you lose some of that.
This is confused state Wolverine.
But yeah, it is. It's like I should not have claws yet.
What's going on? I'm scared.
Oh, cool. Joe Fenn's going to be there.
Oh, nice.
Perfect.
Yeah. So this Wolverine, we've had some bangers. We've had like only good Wolverines so far. The brown suit, the tiger stripe. We've had the X-Men Blue and Gold. We've had Weapon X.
Blue and gold.
But blue and stop it.
I like the blue and gold.
Yeah, I like the blue and gold.
I like the original blue and gold one, but not the one without the mask.
But if you asked
Stripe.
for a Wolverine for Christmas and you got this one, I would feel a little bit like, oh, thanks, Mom.
I'm going to be very harsh and give this a 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.
It is a bad one. If little Gaz got this for Christmas, he would not be happy.
This is the first one where I'm thinking I don't need it.
Yeah.
Move on. Like I would not have bothered with this guy and didn't. So he gets a 1 just because he's Wolverine. But other than that,
now it's funny because my wife is watching, and we give it ones, and I gave it a 4, and we passed on this one. I definitely took a 20-minute detour out of a road trip one time to go buy this figure on card.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Jeez. So, Phenomenal AC is saying this was the outfit he wore in the Weapon X days on missions with Sabretooth, Silverfox, Sabretooth, and Maverick. Well, that makes sense now. Mostly seen in the flashbacks in the comics. Well, that makes sense that they've given this, because I'm almost certain one other person, or at least two, maybe 2 other people, is going to show up from that same Weapon X day.
If he's already got the claws. He doesn't need the knives and stuff, and he doesn't need the shoulder pads. Maybe some gear on his chest, like straps, whatever, and a belt and stuff.
If they would have got rid of all the knives and gave him a machine gun, that makes sense for like the Weapon X commando situation.
Yeah, I would think so. But this gets like a 0.5 for me. This is terrible.
Yeah.
Less than one.
Sorry, Logan. You had a good run.
Ha! I get it.
1970s sci-fi joke there.
I get it.
Logan's wrong.
Yeah. All right.
Good luck, buddy. Oh, how'd that go? Oh, it's just a practice. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So then we move on to X-Force Wave 2.
Yeah.
This is where it gets great.
Oh man, that's where we ended. That's where we ended with the X-Men.
Yeah.
Oh, what a yikes! Yikes!
Look at that face sculpt. It's just terrible. I'm sure it doesn't actually look like that on his head, right? That's probably the editing. He cut it out.
Isn't that Maverick? Isn't that Maverick on the card though? I thought we had Maverick in this wave.
No, that's not Maverick. Maverick looks a lot better than this.
I mean, in the center of the card.
Yeah, that's Maverick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maverick is
in the top corner.
Am I frozen on your end? Because everybody's frozen on my end right now.
You're frozen.
Yeah, you're frozen. But it's a cute smile that you're doing, so it's okay.
I'm looking very handsome, am I?
Yeah.
Very Canadian.
It's like he's thinking evil thoughts.
All right.
He's Canadian, so he's got to look pleasant.
Give me 2 seconds.
Hold the smile.
I'm going to reset the browser here.
Hold the smile.
All right, buddy. Hold. Hold.
I'm trying to find that image. I'm trying to find that image. I know it's going to be kind of small, but if little Gaz got that for Christmas, this is what he's doing to it. This is how he's looking at his parents.
Yeah. It's definitely not a good-looking figure. You're right. The worst Wolverine figure ever. I think actually no. There is some coming down the line that is way worse than this one. The Savage Wolverine. Oh, that's a rough-looking toy. But Guido, Strong Guy, was my favorite of the line, which is why I made it X Factor instead of. I knew we were doing X-Men and X-Force, but I had to label this one as X Factor, even though he's the only one in it. But he's just a great character.
I like how X Factor began as
True.
as an investigation type of, like, they were like private investigators basically. And then
see you, buddy. Thanks for jumping in.
And then it turned into being a government sponsored unit, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
Hey guys, I'm
very
back.
Cool.
That Wolverine was so late, it broke my computer. So let's get back to where we were here. We went through all the history. We went through some great X-Men figures, some real just bangers. And then
that Wolverine.
All the knives. And then we're moving on.
Yep.
X-Force, and we get Cable here. Now,
it's Astronaut Cable.
So something that we're going to see a lot more of in this Toy Biz line is astronaut versions of people, like spacesuit versions of characters.
They did it to Batman, so.
Well, they did it to Batman, but like these ones, like at least happened in the comics sometimes, or like Cable would go into space It wasn't just like
Yeah.
a toy company decision. So we've got this spaceman cable, this little dome, this Mr. Freeze kind of head thing going on here. I'll say the pros for this are all of the gimmick is in the gun. The gun does like a rat-a-tat-tat thing.
Nice.
So the figure is just a simple, basic figure. I like that. It's got a great cable head sculpt.
Does the dome come off?
Dome does not come off.
What? Oh no.
Yeah, dome doesn't come off. And I think that the spacesuit limits your play a little bit of what he can do. But if you're a kid playing, this maybe isn't the best figure. If you're a collector of the line, then I think this gets a pass. But what are your guys' thoughts on spacesuit cable?
So the original one with the weird chopping arm, I think did it a disservice, but the outfit was in the iconic look.
Yeah.
I think if you got this cable instead, you wouldn't be unhappy because it still kind of has the bulkiness that cable needs. In fact, I would say that he's almost better proportioned. But you sacrifice having that cool robot arm, and if you can't move the head, which is weird because in the packaging, the loose one, or not the loose one, sorry, in the mint on card one, mint on card, nobody was saying mint on card back then. The one that's still on the bubble, his head's turned. So how would you? Is there a gimmick to move the head?
Maybe the dome comes off. I don't think it does.
The dome's got to come off. It's got to.
Maybe. I'll take my tomorrow and pull his head off and see what happens.
If the dome comes off, then it's a great cable toy.
Okay. Yep. Gaz is our resident cable expert. What do you think, bud?
Well, let me go to Cable and ask him, what do you think, Cable? No.
No, I think he still looks pretty good. That's a great head sculpt for him.
Head sculpt's great.
He looks good. It's just that if the dome doesn't come off, there's no point to
I'm
it.
gonna look it up.
And I mean, I like the astronaut outfit. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Like the bulkiness of the astronaut. But even though it was Cable, I mean, come on, this is the comic book. That arm isn't being covered up. I don't give a crap. It doesn't matter. It's not being covered up.
Yeah.
And it's not like even if it was exposed, you can still seal it around this techno-organic. Yeah.
So it does come off.
All right, so that's better. That's better.
Here we go.
All right, with that
It
said,
is.
if the dome comes off, I'm digging it. Yeah, I'm digging it.
Mhm.
But I mean, I love the astronaut look. It kind of looks cool. You know, it looks like he's getting ready to take that Blackbird out in outer space and take on some. How do you say it? How do you say that? Shari, it's Brood. You take on some Brood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Smoke some Brood and some skulls. Take them out. Scrolls. I'm sorry, not skulls. But yeah, I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I give it a solid like 8. It's a solid 8.
And you'll see it says second edition Cable on this card. So Cable is getting the Wolverine treatment in the X-Force line, right? Like he's going to be the guy you see multiple times with multiple different editions, and they're going to market that as like collect all the cables. He's going to be there.
Cable was a big deal. He was a big deal at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a great sculpt. I like the colors though. I think it looks good. I like the colors. I like the bulkiness of him. The dome is removable, so that helps. Thankfully, it's not sealed, but fogging probably would have been an issue. And yeah,
That head sculpt is good. That's a good head
I would be just as happy with this Cable, I reckon. I like it. I'm going to give this guy... I can't fault him or anything. It's got a great gun gimmick. It's a secondary outfit. I'd give this guy a 10 out of 10. This is a great toy.
I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because I think the astronaut limits play. Like he's not gonna wear this when he goes to fight Magneto.
Well, I mean, little kid would think that's not just an astronaut outfit; it's a protective suit against apocalypse, and he makes him be able to go up against them even more. But again, I'd still stay with 8.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it an 8. But if we're talking cables, this next one is I think where they landed on their feet. Look at this Cable.
Oh yeah!
Look at this guy.
God.
Again, the gimmicks were all in the gun. So you had one gun with a chain of bullets, and one gun that fired these laser missile things.
Oh, I'm digging
And
that.
he had a cool headset on. He had his robot arm exposed. These proportions are perfect, unlike that janky first one, which had the classic suit, though. To me, this is the cable figure you want.
Yep, that's my cable dude. He's taking off
I
the astronaut suit, and now he's getting ready to kick some butt.
I love the weapons. I love the sculpt of the head, but I can't. I put him third on the list of cables because I just don't think that this outfit is iconic enough to scream cable. Like it doesn't look like
So you
doesn't look like
this?
any cable.
You like this more than this?
I do. I really do.
Wow. I
also wish.
But we'd both be wrong.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the original. The look like the Liefeld outfit of the first one. I like the space suit on the second one because it's appropriate. This one just feels like a nothing suit. It's bare bones
Cable's
and
giving
bare
me the
metal, but
I love that. I love the headset. To me, is great.
This is this is
yeah.
little Gaz's big. This is the little Gaz's main cable right here.
Oh, what, did you? This was your figure as a kid?
I had the other one. I never had this one.
Okay.
I had the first one.
Yeah.
But if
I've got a few people. A few people agreeing that this is a better cable. So I'm the minority here.
If you don't have this in your collection, make sure you just contact your local cable provider, and he will get it.
Much better. I just don't see it as a very good Cable outfit. I always wanted to. There was a brief moment in the comics where Cable had a goatee, and I thought that was a pretty cool look. But sorry, go on, Gaz.
I was gonna say, I do agree that maybe the blue could be lighter, but you can always grab one of these and customize them completely and make them look like the original Cable, the gray pants and blue top. Man, that'd be perfect. But I like that his shirt's ripped and you can see like his shoulder. It's not just his arm that it's like half of his like upper body. It's been taken over and it looks great. I like.
And again, with the nature of Cable kind of being a mystery and not knowing who his backstory was completely, you were kind of learning as you're reading. These figures give you little hints. You're like, well, how much of him is robot? How far does that go in?
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I love it.
Yeah. So to me,
I didn't think that Cable really had like bullet firing guns. I think it was more of a plasma rifle, and this one's got a bullet belt that's going through the gun, which is not a bad gimmick, but it just doesn't scream Cable to me. I like the rocket firing aspect of it though.
Yeah, it's great.
The fishbowl comes off though. The fishbowl does come off. So we determined that the fishbowl is off. So with that in mind, does that help with the spacesuit situation? That he can come out of that fishbowl?
Yeah. I'd still leave it at an 8 though.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. This would be my top Cable.
This is my top Cable figure. It's 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Astronaut Cable is the second, and the other Cable is the third.
There's nothing wrong with this Cable, don't get me wrong. It's a great sculpted figure. I love the detail on the metal parts. I think it's almost there. Like it feels like the shoulder pad and the knee pads. I mean, they feel like they're appropriately Cable, but I just don't think that they're dynamic enough. They're not broad enough. They're not. Doesn't have a lot of texture to him.
I'm sorry, Gaz's favorite toy isn't dynamic enough for you.
It's just because I said strong guy's legs weren't big enough, small enough.
Right.
Is that? I agreed with you. But I can't fault it, so I'll still give it a 10 out of 10 because it's a great looking toy.
Cable joined Shield.
Yeah. This is when you guys come to Canada and we go to Ron's store. As part of RonCon, we're all going to find one of these cables and we're all going to get one. Everybody in the group's going to get one of these.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I will love it. It's not a bad cable. It's not a bad Cable figure. It's I just give it to someone at Joe Fest here. Yeah.
Very sentimental Cable. $4. You can buy it now.
$4. Free pickup. No, I don't hate the figure. I'm just saying, out of the three that we've seen so far, I put the original one and the spacesuit one above this one. That's all I'm saying. It's not bad, though.
We're not disagreeing with you. We're just agreeing with each other more. But moving on, we had two solid Cables coming in.
Yeah.
So the X-Force Wave 2 is off to a great start. And then we get Cannonball.
Oh. Oh, what is that? Oh.
He is kind of a mess.
Great outfit in the comics, though.
Yeah.
Great
Looks like he's
outfit.
gonna be in-
There was also a variant that came with pink instead of purple.
Mm.
So I don't know if that was something better or not. He seemed very tall. Like he seemed like he was 7 feet tall compared to other figures.
Yeah, he was pretty tall in the comics, right?
Yeah. But I will say, just a basic figure. The gimmick was this like catapult that he had that would just launch your figure into the air.
Was that repurposed from something else, or did that come with this guy?
It then went on to be repurposed for an Invisible Woman and one other
That
figure.
makes sense.
It was reused 2 more other times, but this was the first place we got it. And yeah, so like to me, this is just one I would have left on the shelf. He didn't seem important enough to get at all.
Well, I was just gonna say, as a Tick figure, I'll give it a 10. As an X-Men, I'll give him a 3.
Oh man.
That looks horrible. I'm sorry. That stuff looks insanely stupid.
It does look like Patrick Warburton, though. Nailed that.
Yeah, it does. I mean, maybe the gimmick should have been you can like remove his waist and put like a flame.
So that's the Marvel Legends thing. Is he comes apart and you put flames on him, and I think that would have been a way better gimmick and much easier.
Or at least insert him in some flame. Right?
Mhm.
Take that away and give him something to make his rocket propulsion gimmick look good. It's not a bad idea for a toy. Like if you're a kid and you get to launch your toy, that's okay. No hole in the fist. They decided don't worry about it. You're not holding anything today, son.
No. So yeah, this one to me, I'll give a 3 because I'm a friendly, polite Canadian.
I love this era of X-Force as well. Like when they sort of get into these sort of secondary outfits.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was not well executed. So yeah, 3 is pretty generous, but I'll agree.
I was never much of a Cannonball fan, to tell you the truth. In the comic books, never liked.
He wasn't my favorite of X-Force, but he was pretty. He had a good run.
Why do you want to
Can
you get a Speedball?
Thank you.
I loved Speedball.
Loved him.
I thought that was a great comic. And then when he was in the not the New Mutants, he was in what was that team?
It was like Darkhawk and
I thought it was New something.
I think it was like an issue where they were fighting Juggernaut. I want to say they were fighting Juggernaut, and he just launches himself and he crashes in the
New Warriors.
New Warriors, yeah.
Bounces off.
It bounces off, yeah.
It's like that's just the most pointless thing ever. And then like Shatterstar just jumps on his back and tries to pry off the helmet.
Yes.
And I'm like, you could have done that, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't work though.
This guy looks like he just came out of rehab and he's just depressed with his life.
Yeah, I always ask my buddy Cable. It's like, why did you choose Cannonball to be on your team? And he doesn't know.
He looks too big in comparison to Cable as well. Yeah, 2.5. That's fair.
This looks like it came out of a different toy line, and they just shoved them into the Toy Biz line. It looks like, remember the Wildcats line that came out around this time? It looks more like he belongs in that line.
No, he doesn't look like he belongs in Wildcats. Like I said, he looks like he belongs in Tick.
All right, so moving on from Cannonball. Not a lot of love here for Cannonball. Well, then we get up to Grizzly.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
6-pack.
Yeah, I think he was 6-pack. What was the other team that came? What was after 6-pack?
Well, for Cable it was X-Force, wasn't it? I don't know what they called themselves after 6-pack.
Were they still called 6-pack after Cable left the group, or was that what they were called when he was?
I think when Cable left, they disbanded, right? Because they were like most of them were kind of retired. I think.
Right. Oh, Johnny Sorensen's here. He says X-Force rules.
X-Force.
How great is this figure, though?
How are you, Johnny?
And this is one of them too that you looked at him on the page and you thought, how are they going to make that into a 3-dimensional sculpted figure? Like, how are they going to do this big mane of hair and his big bulkiness?
Yeah.
Like, how are they going to make it look cool? And I think they landed the execution on this one is the exact opposite of a cannonball.
This guy looks like he should be from the New Gods in DC, not Marvel.
Yeah,
That's what this guy looks like he shouldn't be from.
yeah,
This guy could even have a little bit more hair.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think if they
but
gave
this-
him more hair, it would have got to the point where they couldn't do any head articulation. It was like a function over form thing.
Well, that's fair. I sort of also feel like this guy's more Cable than Cable was.
Oh, that.
He's got
Yeah.
all the pouches. He's got all the padding.
Well, it's that Cable team is a six pack. They
Yeah.
all look like that.
They were like, "Can I join your team, Cable?" He's like, "Here's your 23 pouches. Figure out where they're going to go."
Here's your massive shoulder pads
Yeah, here's your shoulder pads,
Put your
and let's
Tic
go.
Tacs in there.
and your
Yeah.
wrap boots, and you're all set. Let's go. You got big
Mhm,
guns. Let's
mhm.
go.
Yeah,
Let's go kick
Cannonball's
some
on the team, but don't talk to him.
Cannonball was on
He's got knee articulation by the looks of it. No, Cannonball was on six pack, but
No, he did have a gimmick on his back where he had a lever and it would move his arms in a smashy kind of way.
have
So
a time.
that kind of worked
Grizzly
for me,
smash. Grizzly
and the
smash.
button was kind of hid color wise, so I think that works. He also was a third member of the Bushwhackers.
Did they originally have orange on this figure, or did they use the bright red instead of orange?
What's orange to
Good
me?
question.
Yeah.
Looks a little bit red.
Yeah,
But I mean, we are spoiled for appropriately bulky figures in this line,
yeah.
and then they make everyone bulky, and it sort of just takes away the bulkiness of what this guy's supposed to be.
Right. When you get a bulky Shatterstar, what are we talking about?
I just
Yeah.
wonder what they have in those pouches, like in those numerous pouches around his thighs. What's in there?
I think Pop Tarts.
Pop Tarts.
Did you ever see the image of Pouch Man? Like he was like just all pouches, and his head was a pouch and everything. I'll see if I can find it.
Did Liefeld draw that?
I think so.
So I give this guy a 10 out of 10 just because I can't believe we got a Grizzly figure in this era.
Here he is.
Got him right here. His head's a pouch. That's awesome.
That is so great.
Fantastic.
I like it.
Yeah.
I give this guy an 8.
An 8? Yep.
An 8. Yeah.
That's fair. That's
I
fair.
reckon more than this is. I can only. And I know I'm doing this a lot for this wave, but this is a 10 out of 10. This is a great looking Grizzly figure. I can't fault it on anything.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you want to fault something on something,
Tater tots.
we got Kane up here.
Oh man, I like Kane. Kane's a good figure. The first one,
No.
if the first one looked like this with the first colors, it'd be great.
Yeah.
That original Kane outfit was
Yeah.
great. The toy,
But this
double
guy
fisted.
with helicopter
I don't like the
Helicopter
helicopter fist.
and
Makes-
extendo fist. So his one fist came out like a Mr. Fantastic fist. And it was like a
Yeah.
super punch. And then his other fist is like a helicopter blade going on there. You can see in the carded figure, he's got a blue chest and this red vest kind of clips on top. And he's got a gun. To me, this was a leave him behind figure.
The only thing I don't.
What does
like
that
about-
head sculpt reminding me of?
It reminds you of Ray Liotta.
Yeah,
A little.
Ray
Yeah.
Liotta meets Tekken.
Yeah. Jin Kazuba.
I lose the helicopter fist, and
Yeah.
this is a good figure. This is a good figure.
Yeah, I would pass on this guy. I don't hate that he's got a rotoblade hand. Like it looks like a rotoblade hand. You know, it looks like what it is. But it's like he's trying to be more than Cable. It's like, oh, you've got one middle arm. Look at these bad boys.
Well, that's his whole gimmick. I mean, they surgically replaced him, right? Because he's part of Weapon X.
Yeah. And he was like, he
Those-
became the
Because when
apprentice
he was
to,
in the six pack,
Cable.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he was Cable's apprentice, right? Like that was his
Yeah.
whole gimmick, is I want to be just like Cable.
Yeah, when he was in six pack, he didn't have the cybernetic or bionic arms. They did that to him in Weapon X.
After the fact, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that he has snap-on armor though, or padding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they had like if instead of that helicopter fist being a helicopter fist, if they had something that just fit in his hand or fit over his hand that did that, and then he had a regular hand, it would be even better.
Or just like snap out fists, like
Yeah.
click in and out.
Because that's the only thing that's throwing me off on this figure is that hand. You know,
Yeah.
he look all cool in the show, but he's got like a go-go gadget rotary hand.
Yeah.
Right across
That makes it cooler.
We had a perfect Kane. We didn't need this figure, and I'm not spending my money, my Zellers with the Fellers money on this guy.
Yeah, little guys.
It just doesn't. It's not the iconic Kane look, but I will give it a 5 because it's not a bad toy.
Yeah, I'm in a 5.5.
Yeah, I'll go 5. Now, guys, with this next figure, going to ask you one question. Now, do me a favor. Don't be cruel.
Oh, I had
Nemesis Enforcer?
I had this too.
Wow, taking that ponytail to the next level.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's too much. There's not a. They need some like a darker color to ground it because it just looks too.
He just looks like a
with shrunken heads. With shrunken heads. Was this the sole bad guy?
It was a sole bad guy, and it says he came with shrunken heads, but they're not shrunken heads. They're just alien skulls that you put on his ponytail.
Almost like a predator head.
Yeah, like a little predator head and a little alien skull.
This is supposed to be one of those like Omega mutant type characters. They're like part of the Immortals, right? They were the.
I have no recollection of this guy at all.
It was remember Gideon, the guy with the gold arms,
yeah,
and the green ponytail. He was trying he had Sunspot. This is like the enforcer of that group. He is like the Nemesis enforcer of that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty much sure that's what he is.
Yeah.
And I just
how are you, Skyfall?
I think he's a cool character. Looks cool in the comic books, but the toy version does not work.
Yeah, the design it's boring to me. Like he just seems like background chuffa. And the cool factor of like, oh, he's got skulls on his ponytail. I'm like, I don't know.
This looks like
but doesn't everybody though? Like if I grew a ponytail, wouldn't this then be anyway?
This looks like the guy that's fighting in the ring against the guy that's going to fight Wolverine to make him look like the big guy, right?
Right.
He's the guy that loses to that guy.
It's like Wish Hulk.
Yeah, like Wish Hulk. So to me, this is a 2 at best.
I'm gonna give it a 1.
Yeah.
But, like it's the gimmick. Like I don't know how else you would do it. Like at least they're giving it a crack. Shrunken heads doesn't seem like it's a.
I think the gimmick is more like you hold him and you spin him and his hair ponytail goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it a. I don't know. Like I'll give it a 3.
All right. So not a lot of love for this character, but here is the waves. Here's what we got. And in looking at it, again, compared to those first 2 waves of X-Men figures, we didn't get a lot of
Look at Omega Red. He's got Bishop staring him down, Strong Guy staring him down. He's just like in the center going, "Don't move."
He's like, he's like, Adam, why couldn't you put me next to Apocalypse?
Yeah. But yeah, so it's because they're in alphabetical order, but it's not like the best of the best. It's kind of these background characters, these kind of like second stringers. But like, how did we get a wave of all these characters and just like, more going to be coming out? Like we were spoiled at this time for character selection. But I think the figures that work in these waves work incredibly, and the ones that miss incredibly. Like you got this Wolverine, this Cannonball, this Cruel guy, Cable. Get rid of them, and give me something. Give me something I can work with.
So man, you look at Kane. You look at Kane there, and you don't see the. It looks pretty good. Yeah. He
looks too big. He looks too big next to. He shouldn't be as big as Cable or Grizzly. I think Bishop is the Bishop. If Bishop was a little bigger, that may make sense. But I think that he is appropriately sculpted in amongst these bigger people. And I think Kane it's too big. He's too big. Cannonball too big. It's a hefty wave though. There's a lot of plastic here.
Yeah. Even just Apocalypse, Strong Guy, and Tusk, right? Like that's some Ultimate Force here.
To me,
Yeah.
It's Apocalypse, that dark blue cable and Omega Red, Bishop. Those would be the picks for me right there.
Yeah. Yeah, the Wolverine's a standout. Like, what are you doing? Figure. I don't know.
Yikes.
But that's
but thanks.
That's our Toy Biz today. And next week we're going back to Marvel superheroes, the great carded Marvel superheroes. Yeah. One more wave of those ones. And then then we're gonna keep going here. But this has been great, Gaz. I loved having you on. But are you talking? You're my Toy Biz boy.
Great to be on. Thanks for having me.
Pericles has given us a little bit of a cruel history. He was an ancient berserker and a member of a rare subspecies of mutant immortals called the Externals, to which among them he was represented Ferocity.
Yeah.
There we are. I don't know if I read that right.
Fantastic.
Oh, also, if you're watching here today, don't go away, because this is a double feature. Right after this live stream, we're going straight into Shoot the Shit with our buddy Gaz.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all things Roswell, New Mexico.
Yes, Roswell.
Yep, directly after this. But Adam, thanks for putting this together as always, buddy. It's great to be back talking. Is that any of your Toy Biz? Gaz, again, thanks for joining us. It's always great to hang out with the Gazmeister General. Adam, you put together such a great, extensive amount of slides that you make me feel lazy, and it's true, I am. But Skyfall, stick around for the next stream we're about to do right now. Well, thanks for dropping in. Phenomenal AC. What's the AC stand for? And I appreciate you hitting that like and subscribe. Adam's link is in the description also if you want to follow Adam over on YouTube. And Gaz, we have yours also for Instagram. But we are about to go live again right now over on this very channel for another stream. We're talking Roswell. We're going to shoot the shit. More aliens.
Aliens.
That's how you do it. Anyway, so we'll end it here for now. We'll see you in just a moment. But Adam, thanks again. We'll see you. Are we back again next week for more Toy Biz?
That's the plan.
Let's do it.
Is
All right, there's
Adam
my
not
outro.
coming? Adam, are you not coming?
Yeah, he's coming.
I'm coming to Roswell.
Yeah, he'll be there. All right, we'll see you over at the Roswell.